hopefully everything works.
And hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Go Home Wrestling Show. My name is EJ. Alongside with me is my partner in crime, D-Shep. And
D-Shep 1979. Woo!
oh, there you go. And then you got nothing electrifying. Well, we were going to announce that yes, he is the third mic, but this week he said he couldn't do the show. So I guess we'll do a thing like if there's weeks that either you or Electrify can't do the show, that we'll go and we'll put a little sign over the window here, because if you see on the stream that is just completely blank at the moment, but we'll put like a sign like golf fishing or something like that to just indicate that they're not going to be here for this week, or he or you, depending on the week.
Well, the graphic looks nice at least this week. At least I'm D-Shep again this week and not.
Well, I can always fix that. Ready? Here, I'm going to let you in on
No. Don't you move me.
Okay. You know what? I had the power to do that. So how was your week? I mean, we're going into the holiday week. Wednesday being the 4th of July, you got any plans?
Actually, this is the first year in 20-some years I have absolutely no plans, because my mom had surgery a few weeks back.
Yeah.
And she's not up to company for the 4th. So this time, just going to do a little fire I got a fire pit out in the backyard, and I can damn near see all the fireworks in my town on the show. So just going to chill at home.
All right. And we already got someone spamming our chat already with a nice line. You can't spell nutrition without N-U-T. I like that. Welcome to the show, my friend. We talk wrestling here. I mean, you could put your things in chat. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Exactly. So, wanted to mention that. Now, the other thing to mention is that we're going to be having a presence on Facebook. So, we were thinking, instead of doing the show on Twitch, twitch.tv / Go Home Wrestling Show, I was thinking, why not do the shows and get some exposure on Facebook, and then do a Facebook show instead, and try to expand the show over there to get them over here, because the ultimate goal is to get more people over to this platform, along with Mixer. Those are the two main ones we worried about. Not so much on YouTube. It's like video. You want to get stuff out there on YouTube so they could come over to here. It's just like, here, this is what you could say, come on over here.
Exactly, and one thing I'd like to add to that, which I hadn't mentioned before but just kind of popped in the head, is that if you guys know any other platforms, like I think there's a couple different ones like YouNow and a couple other oddball ones, if you want to kind of throw a shameless plug in the chat for some other platforms we should maybe check out on, we can do that too.
Yeah.
It just gives more work for EJ to do, pretty much.
Yeah, it does. But you know what? It's worth it at the end.
I mean,
no,
he is the younger of the two of us, so he should do the
not by
majority
much.
of the work, right?
Not by much.
By enough. By enough.
5 years. Whoop-de-doo. Speaking of which, belated birthday, even though we wished it last week because it went into the show last week. Happy belated birthday. He's going to be 45, folks, so make sure in chat you wish him a happy 45th birthday. There you go.
It's all downhill from here. The big 4-0 next year. Oh, boy. We still trucking, though.
I won Wrestling Area 6 qualifiers. Okay, you're talking about amateur wrestling. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Well, welcome anyway. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna be instead of doing the shows on Twitch, I was thinking maybe go over there, have a little presence on Facebook, and do shows on there. And we'll try to get that started within the week. Also, we're also going to be doing the Universe. We're going to try to get that started, even though it's getting late into it. But we're about 3 months away before the next release of WWE 2K19.
That one I'll get right away too. So we'll be ready to rock and roll with that, and try to get a lot of people involved with this, and kind of piggyback little bit what our boy Electric Fly's doing over there with creating Twitch peoples and will add viewers and supporters of this show and other shows, and we're gonna make a pretty exciting universe when it's all said and done.
Yeah, and again, we're going to do things that they're going to be different. You see the chat.
I read it backwards, and I heard, "Are you hard in Pennsylvania?" and then real wrestling, because I read it from bottom to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not very proud of Pennsylvania right now. Kappa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on. I'm fixing something real quick.
Ooh.
Oh, it's not working. There you go. All right, whatever. I think it spam the chat. It's no big deal. Anyways, we'll cut that out.
Don't buy.
All right. Well, anyways, since it's a slow start, it's no big deal. All right, here we go.
Speaking
We're gonna
of
go.
a slow start.
Yeah,
What?
I know. Yeah, I know. Me, I know. He's
No,
distracted
no,
by
I
my
was-
freaking ADD. I got it.
I was talking about the first segment. The first thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. You're leaning into that. Okay. Well, let's
Hey,
start
I'm just
with.
excited to have eyebrows this week. Eyebrows are growing back.
Oh, that's good. All right.
Yeah,
Let's get. Oh, what's that?
all right, let's go.
Oh no, I'm
Focus.
sorry.
No, I didn't have nothing else.
Okay.
Good,
All right. Let's
good.
hit the stinger.
Don't
It's
worry.
time for the week in review.
The week in review.
And there we are, folks. And of course, the first show we're going to cover is Monday Night Raw, off a big show last week. And man, right away they go into a segment, which they start off every Monday Night Raw with. But of course, this time it is the announcement of the cancellation of the multi-man match at Extreme Rules. Now, I'm going to get into a rant in a little bit about that. But I mean, do you find that surprising that was like canceled? Because whether if it's a shoot or if it's not, it's like, okay, you're just pissing the fans off more. But there's been theories about that too. So, I mean, and of course in the segment it was interrupted by Reigns and Lashley. What's up, Planet? Planet West TV. Make sure you give him a follow. Nice guy. How did you feel about that segment to start off that show? Like it.
Well, I think, obviously I was disappointed by the cancellation. Whether it's planned or not planned, it's still not a good idea. But in a surprising twist, for the first time since Lashley came, now I'm stuttering like Lashley. Damn it. That was by far the best work he's done on the mic since he's been back, by far.
Now
It's not saying, now was it a 9 out of 10 performance? Absolutely not, but it was the best, at least as far as, like, I'm not going to judge whether it was real or not, because we'll save that for the rant in a little bit here. But for what the segment was, I was actually somewhat into the segment.
I was too, and that was the surprising part. Even though like there's could be still more work, and yeah, thanks Mike for the
Thanks
follow.
for the follow.
Thank you. The thing with that is like with the segment with Sami Zayn, like the whole rivalry between Sami Zayn and Bobby Lashley. It was weak.
It was
After,
bad.
it
every week.
was very weak. Week after week, it was just bad segments, bad promos. And this is the problem. I realize it's like, can you really blame them? Because it's all.
Thanks for the follow, Die
There you go. There you go. Hold on. They're just trying to troll. They're trying to troll. That's what it is.
Trolls add to our follow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, good point. They're trying to.
Keep on trolling that. No, but for what it was, I don't think it could have been much better than what it was. And I was actually somewhat into it. I didn't cringe. I didn't get up and take a Roman Reigns potty break either this time.
Yeah.
I was actually
I was into it.
Kind of into it.
Yeah, but my point is, we were. Oh, there you go. Yeah, but the whole point is, can you really blame them because it's all scripted?
Yes, but did you notice?
It's scripted. You can't do.
Reigns, the better Lashley was coming off, I got the vibe that Roman was more irritated. Like, he had that cocky smug.
He's been having that
The
kind
more he was like, he seemed really bothered, and I may be wrong. He seemed bothered by how good Lashley was coming off on the promo.
because this was the sort of work that he was doing over at Impact, and you've been waiting for that moment, when it was going to finally happen, where that flip was going to come through. Like, when was that switch going to flip? Where you were going to see the real promo style. I mean, he has it. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's fucking, these guys.
It is what it is. I'm not even looking at the
Yeah.
moment.
There you go. All right. Hold on. And they get. Boom. There you go. Now I want more. Yeah. So now it was pretty. It was a pretty good segment compared to the others. And you said you're right, because it seemed like Reigns was bothered. But you like that whole it's like the whole Reigns trying to throw the little impact little line there, like, oh, you really made a big impact.
Roman came off as fake, like he was disinterested in the whole setup because it wasn't a bigger title match per se.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't seem very invested. For the first time since he came back, I actually thought Lashley was into it. Like, you could tell he was fired up about this.
Mm-hmm. And that's what he needed. Like, again, we always said that he has
a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it is. And hold on. You know what? There you go. There you go. Boom. Sorry.
Just try to block it out, man.
Yeah, I know.
It is what it is.
I don't know. Yeah, try to be interactive, but you got little cunt rags that come in here.
Yeah.
And have nothing else better to do. And we don't do this for money, asshole. Yeah.
Well,
that was your deal with it.
I may do some things for money, just saying. You know.
Well, you can.
I mean, I'd lift my shirt. Whoa. Never mind.
Oh, so we're like cam girls now?
Why not? I mean, if you're gonna do, you want these viewers to. No, I'm just kidding.
No, they're not. They're not on Twitch, man. They're on Mixer, bro. Yeah, it's just a bunch of little assholes that want to fucking play. There you go. Boom. Took care of that. Fuck them. Try to do an interactive show, and they're gonna be assholes. Fuck them. Anyways, here we go. Yeah, go on to the segment. So, of course, they took jabs back and forth at one another, and like you said, they both cut a little deep. It seemed like Reigns he cut a little deeper with the whole impact and saying that he didn't even go in the UFC, that he went to Bellator basically. Like and that's fucked. It's kind of after, because whether if it's Bellator or UFC, I think no matter what, he went 15-2 in the MMA circuit. Like,
yeah. Can you imagine for a second that Roman Reigns could go 15-2?
No, not
There's
at all.
No way. No. Not in any world. And the thing, Lashley, the best part of it, I thought, is when he said, dude, how many tries do you get? Like, for real. That's what all us fans think. So to finally get Lashley some fan support behind him, they're handling it the right way, because they're feeding him the lines that are basically what all we felt, and we're thinking, oh man, we got someone that's saying what we've been thinking, and then they're gonna pull that rug out, and Reigns is gonna win that match, and we're all gonna be up in arms again.
Yeah, and I think this. Well, I'll get into it later, but the whole cancellation of the match. I think it's just that this is my theory, and I'm sure a lot of people have this same theory of what's going on and with the whole situation with the Universal title. You feel that Brock Lesnar, he may or may not defend the title at SummerSlam. And then when the time does come, and then it's going to be Roman Reigns that gets the number one contendership. And then it's going to be the point that if he were to come out with the title, would he get cheered? And they feel like this little, how they come about it this time, might get him the cheers, and he can finally be that guy. I don't see it because they're never going to accept it. Like I said, if Jinder Mahal came out to Cult Personality back at Money in the Bank, if he would have came out to that, going against Reigns, they'll probably still cheer fucking Jinder Mahal, despite that he trolled him.
No, you could have Brock Lesnar not show up on TV until WrestleMania. And Roman still is not going to get cheered in that match. I don't care. It's just not going to happen. People have more respect for guys like Lashley that they know is a tough dude. May not be a great professional wrestler per se, but he's a tough dude. And Brock Lesnar is a tough dude. Roman Reigns comes off as a soft little bitch. They're never going to respect him.
No, they won't. And they said the only way, if they were going to have any kind of reaction besides boo, well, they would probably still boo him if they turn him heel. But you know what? Knowing how these people are today, like the actual wrestling fan,
if he turned heel,
yeah, I think people would dig it because that's what they've been expecting. The guy always he has that heelish in him. Like he just comes off that way, the way he speaks, the way he walks, the way he acts. It just screams heelish, and we discussed that a couple of weeks ago. So if they were to do that, that could help. What's up? Get him, Jones.
It depends who he turns on, though.
I think either one of the Shield members. That would be the best way.
If he goes heel against Dean, I think that could work. If he goes heel,
even more.
If he goes, well, not necessarily, because if he goes heel on someone that is so beloved, then I think he's still going to get that heat initially.
Oh,
in the long run, it'll come up.
I looked at it too much there.
I think it has to be against not a tweener face by no stretch, but just a guy that doesn't have as much fan support as a face.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. I'm trying to think who would be a comparable guy that he would even be in there with. Lashley. I think he could turn on.
I think Lashley would have been a good heel too. At this point,
well, we all know that.
But yeah, they're not going to go with it. But if you're going to go with that killer instinct, honestly, like I said, he did cut some good promos over at Impact. So I wish they would just allow them to be more off the cuff than freaking scripted, because I think you would get more. But yet, I think they're afraid of like true feelings coming out. Like, you don't think, like, even though you had a couple people that mentioned him failing his drug test, meaning Roman Reigns, with the steroids, you don't think Lashley would be like, I built this naturally, unlike you. You know?
Oh, I could see something like that being said at some point, definitely.
Yeah. But the whole scripting thing, I think that does take it away, because they try to say, well, it's the real art for them to, have what they're written for them and then, perform it and make it believable. I'm like, no, I think it was better when it was off the cuff and how they truly felt.
But speaking of the script, and now that I think about it a little more so,
what?
It's kind of funny because for as much as they want Roman Reigns to be the guy, the script always favors whoever is going against Reigns. Every time. Every time.
Yeah, I think yeah.
Well, even Jinder, the script, you had more support going into that match for Jinder than you did Roman Reigns, based off the script, based on the build. It never favors Reigns, and that might be part of the problem. You want this guy to be the top guy, then you have to let him do things that the fans can get behind because obviously what was going on wasn't working. You could have tweaked it and he could have still been a face. You didn't necessarily have to turn him to heel. But now it's almost like it's either you turn him heel or you're just fucked at this point.
Yeah, his character, he's in hell. He's in hell right now.
They do him absolutely zero favors with the script as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think they should just let him go. But it's the error of what it is. But yet, you hear about NXT. They're giving them, they're like going to leash a little bit and let them be a little bit more themselves that develop and all. And if you see that, I could see eventually like the script, starting to fade away once like Triple H takes control. All right, so let's move along though. So it was a good segment.
Yeah.
I would like to see how that comes out. And a lot of people are speculating it could be a triple threat. So, at SummerSlam. And
God, I hope not.
Speculation that it could be Brock and Roman again. But I guess the only way we'll find out as it gets closer to the big show in August. So moving along from a pretty good segment into, of course, it went into a match. Now, the reason I do want to cover this is because I think this one should have happened a week ago. And, of course, this is when the Revival came in and interrupted the promo between Lashley and Roman Reigns. And then with them two, they called them two out saying, hey, basically, we're the tag team. You just two guys that were thrown together. And we're going to prove to you that we're better. Of course, they go in a match. And it was a pretty decent match, at least I felt it was pretty decent. And the fact that the Revival won was it. Now, did you find that surprising that they got the win the second time around?
I didn't find it surprising. I thought it was kind of comical the way it happened at the end of the match with Reigns tagging himself in right as Lashley was going to finish it off. And then how stupid they made Reigns look in the post-match activities or whatever you'd like to say.
Yeah.
They made him look dumb. Like, even the look on Reigns' face, like, he looked stupid. Like, pure stupidity. Like, like, I was like, what are they doing? Again, like I said, if this is supposed to be the guy, you don't do him no favors.
Well, he's got to be more assertive, I think. I think, like, the script they're giving him, and he's not, like, they said they want them to come off script and try to put, just like in the movie, like, read the script and try to bring it to life. It doesn't seem like he can do it.
Shit.
Is that the rain?
Going.
I hear that in the background. Get him Jones says, let him be more violent, like Kurt make a number one contender and leave Roman out of it. Let Roman interrupt the match and completely destroy both people for about 6 minutes. People respond to violence. That could be a good thing, but then that could be somewhat of a heelish turn because you're going against the babyface in Bobby Lashley. People at this point really fucking hate Brock because what he's doing with the Universal title. Again, I'll get into that in a little bit. I think that would be the heel turn that you would need. And again, make him a heel. That could possibly, that right there is possible. And the result I feel will come out of that is heel. What do you think about that? What you just said in chat?
I think whoever, like you said, gets more down and dirty you're gonna feel like he's the heel in that match. And that's what we want to see at the end of the day.
And then it seems like they try to shy away from it, and especially that they're on USA. I mean, they could probably get away with a lot more. SmackDown going to Fox, man, you're not going to see that kind of stuff. But I mean, I guess a pay-per-view would be one time to get away with it because it's on the network, it's on pay-per-view, so people ain't going to be like, you're paying to see this, so this is possible. So, yeah, I could see that happening.
No, I wouldn't mind even seeing Lashley turn and just snap in the match, turn heel, beat his ass, cheat to win, whatever you'd have her. And then just have some severe trash talk going into the SummerSlam match with Brock. Brock will get cheered, Lashley will get booed, it'll work just fine. And then Lesnar could fade off into the sunset, and Reigns could feud with Lashley for the belt after that, then, as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
But if Roman is going to be the face, and that's not going to change, then I want to see Lashley turn then. I want to see one of the two turn.
I think Lashley would be better off as a heel, but I think they're focusing on him to be a face for a little bit.
I know.
That's what it seems like they're going with. But, all right, well, as we were discussing, like you were surprised. Yeah, it will be interesting. And you said it wasn't surprising that they got the win, but you think it was a good victory for the tag team division? Because we've talked about this on a couple occasions where we feel that WWE is trying to shy away from that. Mainly, it seems like a cross-cutting thing. Instead of paying 4 people, we're just going to pay 2 people to do a match. And, I mean, was this a good thing for the tag team division, getting a win over 2 big guys like Lashley and Reigns?
I don't think it did much for the tag team division. I think it probably did a little bit more, you could say, for the Revival, and they desperately needed something. My God, them dudes have been shitted on since the beginning. I don't think it did much for the tag team division as a whole, but just for them 2 guys that they could come out there and brag about this, well, they'll probably let them do it for at least a few weeks, you got to imagine. So I think for them,
yeah,
it makes them come across as more of a legitimate threat. So I guess just from that logic alone, you can kind of say it helped the division.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like
to have another credible team out there. So, and it could be a good team if you end up. I have no interest in seeing, let's say, Revival versus Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. I'm kind of over the whole thing now. I get it is what it is, but could I see a triple or fatal 4-way at SummerSlam with B Team, Bray and Matt, throw Revival in there? I think that could be legitimate. I could get behind that.
Yeah, and again, it is harder to tell storylines between tag teams. It is kind of a little bit harder than doing a singles match or a triple threat match or whatever. But to me, I feel like it was a good thing for the tag team division. It shows, for what I got, it's like a guy that established tag teams get beat 2 guys that have no chemistry any day of the week. Because the people, you could be as good of a wrestler as you could be. You could be the best wrestler. If you team up with a guy that you have no chemistry with, I'm sure the guys with chemistry will beat you any day. That's how I felt it was a good thing for them, and not only for them, for the tag team division. I've been the tag team guy my whole life. My favorite tag team being the Rockers. So, growing up, I was a big Rockers guy. Heart Foundation, and then Road Warriors / Legion of Doom, if you want to go with WWF. So I've always been that type of guy, and I thought it was a good thing for them to get that victory.
No, it wasn't. One other team I'll throw in that fatal 4-way for SummerSlam is Authors of Pain.
Yeah, that's another team they weren't doing much with, and apparently
but that would give you 2 heel teams and 2 face teams.
That could work. That could work. We'll see what they do with that.
I think that's what we're headed towards, is fatal 4-way.
Good.
Kickoff show special, baby.
Oh yeah, kickoff show. I fucking hate when they do things like that. They did that with Money in the Bank, and I was not happy about that. So you got that out of the way, and then right after that, you had another tag team. 2 tag teams.
Boys.
Yep. You got the B Team, represented by who represented them was Curtis Axel, going against Matt Hardy, representing the Leaders of the World on a singles match. To me, even though it was a short match, I thought it was pretty decent. It was pretty good.
No, it was great.
Now, here's the thing. Did you feel that end of the match was kind of botched, or do you think that was kind of scripted? Because it seemed...
I'm not sure.
Because I
guess I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
The fall at the end of the match where Matt Hardy fell back from the turnbuckle and it... they ended.
Scripted then.
If not, then that was a good sell.
I had to remember the end of the match. I couldn't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah,
he fell back and then he fell on him and covered him. Yeah, it had to be scripted. There's just no way.
It just seemed to me like, because that was the one thing I was kind of like a little thrown off by that. Stop to say hello, can't stay long, have a good stream. Okay, 13, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Hey, he's been here every week so far, so shout out to you, 13.
Yeah, thank you. Also, and Great One's in here. Welcome, buddy.
Hey, the replay of this show will be on YouTube sometime this week, though. So.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
Shameless plug.
Yep, there you go. And
Mick Foley.
Right here in Philadelphia. Yeah. I just, with that ending, it's just like, Matt Hardy sold that pretty good then, if that was the way it was. It's just the abrupt ending. And then it seemed like Curtis Axel, after he got the pin, he's like, wait. Oh, I got the... Like, I know it was like a surprise thing, but in the beginning, like before that celebration, it seemed like he was like shocked that it ended that, like it wasn't expected, like it was an F up. Like I'll give you an example. Remember WrestleMania X7?
Yeah.
What's that?
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was saying I was comparing it to the Chris Jericho William Regal match, IC title, in Houston. That was a botched ending because Jericho wasn't supposed to win for another 5 minutes or 10 minutes. They cut it short because there was a screw up. Regal took a little blow to the head and it kind of like messed him up, and of course he wasn't hearing the count, and that's what happened. So I thought it was something like that, but either way,
well, it could have been something where somebody radioed in to the referee to hurry up and just do some kind of quirky finish or whatever. That could have happened.
Could have been.
You never know.
Yeah,
but
you got to stick with timing. Yeah, I get it.
It was it was for what it was. It was great, and promo stuff again with Axel and Bo dressing up as Bray and Matt. That was hilarious again.
Yeah.
And Axel has that Shawn Michaels quirky charisma down pat. Like, you just send him off to the Hall of Fame if it's just based off that. Like, I'm telling, there's nobody that could sell these over-the-top, happy, quirky reactions, whatever you want to call them, as well as Curtis Axel. Yeah, Bo's nice, but Curtis Axel's the MVP of this team. I think we all know that.
Oh yeah, he reminds me so much of his father too.
He's like a hybrid between Mr. Perfect and Shawn Michaels, blended into one dude.
I'll tell you, Mr. Perfect lived up to his fucking name. I was always a heel type of guy, so when I saw, like, when it was the heels, I kind of gravitated to them. I gravitated to Shawn Michaels when he was a heel. I gravitated to Mr. Perfect when he was a heel. I gravitated to those types.
That was the late 80s, early 90s phase of it was cool to be a little edgy.
Well, yeah, but you saw even more during the Attitude Era. But during that time, you saw it a little bit because people were getting tired of the Hulk Hogan winning all the time. They were done with it, and that's why he pretty much faded away in '93. Scott Hall, great wrestler. All right, so, dude, I don't know about you, but I am liking the Cinderella story of the B team. I mean, they're running with this. They're taking the ball and running with it, and I'm glad to see them.
I got my shirt on the way. Shout out to WWE Shop.
I would have won myself, too. And I'll wear it. BT. Dude, I can't. It would be shocking if they come out with the titles. I think it would be funny, but
I think they're gonna.
I don't think they will. No, I don't think for this pay-per-view. I think maybe SummerSlam. I think you get a rematch, they'll drop the titles then. That's what I see. I think it's not going to be a one-off.
My theory is they're going to win them here, and then they're going to lose the titles at SummerSlam in the Fatal 4-Way.
Okay. All right, that's what you said.
And
we'll see.
That way you can still keep them kind of strong, but at the same time get the titles off them quick.
I think it's gonna be a one-off in which they get a shot again at get their shot again at SummerSlam, and maybe the Fatal 4-Way that you say and come out on top. That's what I see. I don't see this being a one-off though.
No, Bo Dallas. I think when the whole B team thing started, I don't think they knew it was going to be as big as it is already. It might have been just a short-lived thing, and they were just going to go with some other name. Mm-hmm. But it worked, and they found the right two guys to pull it off. And I can see this B team being around as the B team for years to come. I really can.
Okay. Oh, I accidentally minimized the. There you go. All right, there you go. Sorry about that. So we're gonna move along right after that. After great, decent tag match, and then you had a good match with the leaders of the world and the B team. Then we move along to Alexa Bliss. Of course, they cut a promo. They're building that storyline with Ronda Rousey. Now, of course, Natalya interrupted the promo, which led to the match. And then, of course, the match was, short and sweet. But Natalya got the win. Were you surprised by that, even though it was non-title?
That might have been the shocker of the week if it wasn't for SmackDown.
Yeah.
And I think you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know.
But
we'll get to that in a little bit.
It wasn't anyway. Not for some people.
I know you predicted it. I'll call it, but we'll get to that when we cover SmackDown. No, it was a good victory for her.
It was definitely the shocker on Raw this week.
Definitely was, despite the main event of that show. But
if you remember right, Natty was the one I thought was going to win the Money in the Bank too.
You did kind of call that, so I could see a program. I see it.
I had a feeling a Natty push feeding off this Ronda Rousey friendship angle or whatever. I had a feeling it was coming. I was just a little off on the timing.
All right, here's what I see, because if you want to keep Ronda out of the title picture, this is where I see it going. Okay, Ronda Rousey, of course, she's going to go with a program with Alexa Bliss. She'll probably... I don't know. I think Nia Jax might get the title back at... oh, God. Not Money in the Bank.
Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules, yeah, sorry. I don't know why I brain farted there. I think she might get a title back at Extreme Rules, then start a program with Alexa Bliss, and then Ronda Rousey. And then I see a heel turn where Natalya would turn on Ronda.
Oh, definitely.
And then you got that program.
That's going to come at some point for definitely.
There you go. Yeah, I'm going to see that program starting pretty soon right after that. That's where I see that going. There you go. I'm going to shut that off. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's where I see that going. We'll see what happens with that. So, I guess, do you think what do you think about like the promo, the build to the suspension storyline with Ronda Rousey? You feel like do you like the build that they're of that storyline right now, or do you think it's just kind of?
I liked it the week she got suspended last week.
Yeah.
But this past week, it didn't really add to the build of it very much this week because I'm sorry, you can't add to a feud when only half of the feud is there on TV. I don't care. If you're not there, I'm not as interested as I would have been. So for me, I don't think it lost any momentum, but I don't think it gained any either.
Okay. Well, like I said last week, what would have been great for that storyline was to have Ronda Rousey like in the crowd or doing something just to taunt her from the stands. Like I think things like that, walking around the arena in the crowd, just like, hey, I'm a paying customer, but get ready because in 25 days, 24 days, I'm coming to get you. Just
and that may still happen.
Well,
maybe
they better.
They didn't want to do that every week.
Yeah. Maybe
they just wanted to do that like the week before she comes back and just have her out there one time. I could see it still happening. Slim chance because I think she's all about promoting that Mile 22 movie now. I think that's why they gave her the off time to begin with. Oh, she's also working house shows. She's doing that and reported to the Performance Center too. That's been reported that she's going down there too. So she's working on a craft too, also promoting the movie. But you gotta respect the work ethic, and because at the end of the day, she's a fan. She was a fan before, hence why she was a Rowdy Piper fan. She wore the jacket Rowdy Piper wore. She's got a lot of stuff going on, man. Between the acting, she's a married woman. Yeah. And she's a professional wrestler now, too. And that's not even counting all the various talk shows and other stuff that she does, too. She's a very, very busy, sexy woman. Mm-hmm. Whew. Oh, yeah. I know. I love the one issue. The body paint issue. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. High five. All right, so, yeah, like I said, I feel like it felt flat this week as far as the whole build on that storyline. I just felt like it just fell flat. And let's see what they do next week. Maybe they might have something planned. I guess it was just a cool-off week. And, of course, Alexa being the bitch that she is like, egging her on to do something. Well, I'm sure she's going to do something to like taunt her until the day comes where she can finally get her hands on her. So yeah, moving along after that, shocking victory by Natalya, and then you had Strowman. Well, you had a couple things in between, not even worth fucking mentioning. You got Strowman and Owens versus Corbin and Balor. Very entertaining. You thought so? I wasn't like oh my God, this is going places. But I knew it was a one-off situation, and I was entertained between backstage, in the ring, in the match. But then it took a turn for me after they did the car thing and that's when I was like, okay, this got bad real quick. But for like the first, you combine all three parts of that together for the first 75%, I was entertained. I was laughing. I thought it was funny. But then it got childish to me at the end with the whole chasing them in the back and flipping over another vehicle, basically. Which this time you didn't even get to see him do it, which was odd, too. Like, they show him, you know, hurling stage equipment and TVs and ambulances and that. But you can't just flip over a little Toyota on camera. Whatever. So the ending of the segment was bad, but the match itself I was entertained.
It was an entertaining match. Yeah.
The match itself I was very entertained.
It wasn't a pro wrestling match, I would say.
No. It was an entertaining match is what it was.
Yeah, it was entertainment. It was of course more of a build for Strowman. Owens, you know, playing the classic heel. I do love how he comes off there. Corbin, I think he's getting more comfortable.
Improving.
Yeah, he's getting comfortable with his role as the Constable of Raw. Balor, again,
but I like that he's still wrestling though.
Yeah.
Through all this, I was worried that he wasn't going to be wrestling.
Just be on camera.
I think it's funny that he's wrestling in these dress clothes wrestling. I like it.
You seen it with IRS? He did it.
Yeah.
Right to Censor was another group that did it. I mean, people have done it. Some people just may not feel comfortable to do it. He obviously is, and he's going into that role really comfortably.
It's given him. He needed
life.
That much character depth. He needed that.
And yeah, it brought him back to life as far as his career in the WWE. But one thing's for sure, Balor. Dude, they just need to go back to the Demon. I understand what Vince is trying to do with keep him undefeated, but for God's sakes.
I don't at this point. I really don't.
For God's sakes, do something. The guy coming on to the camera smiling, it's not working for me. It isn't working. Balor's a great talent. He obviously could do whatever you need of him, but this may not be that thing for him. Again, this is no slight to Balor, because Balor is an incredible wrestler. A credible professional wrestler. Entertainment, he has that with that Demon character. As far as this character, it's not hitting too well with a lot of people, including myself.
Here's the issue with Balor more than anything, in my opinion, is the Demon's been gone for so long now that even if you did want to bring it back, you're going to have to bring it back against somebody that is like a really credible threat to Balor. Like, this is going to be worse than when Bray Wyatt and Balor had the feud, because, you know, I think that was the last time the Demon was out.
Mm-hmm.
Who on the Raw roster would be worthy enough for Balor to even bust back out the Demon at this point? Because it's almost been too long that you need something big to bust this character out on. You can't just bring him, you know, back against a random heel like, say, Ziggler for an IC title shot. Even to me, I'd have no interest in it. I need a bigger name if you're going to bring the Demon back at this point.
Braun. Build a program, get a program started with them too. And like I said, if it was believable for a Demon character to defeat Braun, just to not, like, you could still build him and not hurt him by bringing the Demon out, having him face Braun and beating Braun without hurting him. You can do it without hurting the guy. Like, people lose. It happens. So I can see it being done. Only to be a special attraction, yeah. But you know what? That special attraction, great one, it's not working. And again, I'm going to get into that with the Universal title. It's not special
if they never use it.
Exactly. Okay? And your special attraction right now is Ronda Rousey. Your special attraction right now, God damn it, I hope it ends soon, is Brock Lesnar. Okay? Balor as a babyface is boring. Yes, there's no character development. I say that him smiling, coming on the camera just smiling,
Yeah, it's the same story.
doesn't do
every
shit.
feud. I
Doesn't
like
do shit.
that.
Matt Capitelli, yeah, winner of the Tough Enough, died at 38 of cancer. It's a sin. Joe in chat said that. He puts on great matches. Yeah, he's an incredible professional wrestler, but his demon character, obviously, he could do the entertainment side through that character. This babyface one, not so good. It's not good. Bring the demon to beat right there. Good line right there by great one, Brock Lesnar. That would be even better. Why?
It has to be a credible threat at this point to bring the demon back.
And you know what? How fitted would it be that if he would somehow, some way, if they pull off that multi-man match, he comes back as the demon to beat Brock Lesnar 2 years after he beat Seth Rollins for the title to be crowned the first champion. Talk about a homecoming. Talk about a full circle, going back to the very same event that you won the first time to be the first guy. And then only to be, to give up the title 24 hours later because of injury. 2 years later to get it back. Bringing the demon character back to beat Brock Lesnar. You know what great one? That was a great line right there in chat. Good job. That would work. So let's clip this and send that to WWE. There you go. And we'll give the great one credit in chat. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I didn't have nothing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought I was interrupting you. My bad. All right,
so worrisome.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't want to feel like I'm stepping on you.
If I have to be the calm one in this situation, we're all going to have some problems.
Well, you know what? This week, I think you're going to be the man of reason, okay? Because when we come up to the segment where I'm going to take over on the rant, you might actually be that guy for 1 week.
No, I'm with you on that.
Okay, and then I guess we're both going to be ranting.
Not really ranting, just...
Oh, I'll rant. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go on to the main event, the match. Now, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Now, you know my thoughts on Ziggler. Here we go. Ready? I'm sorry, Dolph Ziggler. I'm sorry I doubted you. I'm sorry I kind of trashed your character. There's still bits and pieces, but you can pay homage to the people that influenced you. Unbelievable match. When was the last time you seen a match go for 30 minutes on a Raw or SmackDown and be entertaining the whole time?
It's been a while, that's for sure.
I take back.
Definitely been a while.
I've had my foot in mouth, and this ain't gonna be the first time on the show that's gonna happen to me. Okay, there's gonna be plenty of times we're gonna have it.
And there might be other things in our mouth at times.
Yeah, I know. Yep. According to guy, yeah, we got the kid in the background. I gotta watch. Earmuffs, kid. Earmuffs.
Earmuffs.
Yeah. But no, it was a very, very good match. I was hooked from bell to bell. I enjoyed it. Now, to you, would you feel that was, at this point, great candidate for match of the year?
I could see it. I don't have anything like on the top of my head here thinking that I would put ahead of it. I'd have to put more thought into it, but I could see it being at least a candidate. Definitely.
Yeah. Dude, it was like, now obviously you weren't surprised. You like Dolph, you like Rollins. I'm a big Rollins fan, but I mean, out of the two matches, obviously this is the match that was the better one, because the last one was an open challenge, which the shocker was Ziggler coming up with the victory. This time, boom, even though McIntyre interrupted, it was a DQ. It was still a great match, and it didn't hurt either character.
Yeah.
Oh, who'd you think it hurt? Big Jonesy, thank you for the follow, my friend.
It hurt Rollins the moment Roman Reigns started strolling out.
Oh, for that, yeah. At the save him from the beatdown.
Well, no, until then, I was completely with you. It didn't hurt anybody. Ziggler got to hold on to the belt.
Well, again,
everything was going so good.
That was to get the rub.
Ruin it.
Yeah, that was to get the rub. That's all it was. Great one says.
I know it's all it was, but there's obviously going to probably be a tag match on Monday.
But it could be. I could see a Rollins.
Why is he getting involved with this feud when he has the feud with Lashley going on? It makes no sense.
Okay, again, it's the rub. That's what it is. Plain and simple.
Simple
story told right there.
I know it's the rub, but can Roman Reigns, of all people, pull off 2 storylines at once?
No.
When he can't even pull off one.
No. But, again, I get what you're saying now. I totally agree with you. But what I'm saying is that's where they're going to go. It's just a rub. It's a rub to get him over. That's all it is. Now, I want to get this out because, great one, I do agree with you on this one. Dolphus Crowley, one of the hardest workers in the WWE. They always put him against.
By far.
Yeah. Now, again, I take back what I said. And foot and mouth, I take it back. And I'm sure I'll clip this and send this off to Dolph. And I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
I did kind of tell you were wrong about the Ziggler thing, if I remember right.
Yeah, you did. You gave me shit when I said that. I just didn't like that because I felt like he was kind of ripping off characters. But I was like, you know what? I thought about it more, and I was like, you know what? He's probably paying homage to the people that influenced him. And he said HBK was one of his biggest influences. And what did I say last week? He's an HBK ripoff. But I was like, you know what? If I'm going to go... Jericho was...
Seriousness, every wrestler since the beginning of time is a ripoff of another wrestler.
Yeah.
Go by that logic.
I know. And that's why when I thought about it, I was like, maybe I am wrong on this. And I'll admit when I'm wrong.
Even the first time I seen the Demon, Finn Balor, as cool as that was, my first thought that came in my head was Boogeyman. Boogeyman.
Oh, yeah, with the entrance and all. I could see that. Yeah, definitely.
That's the first thing that popped into my head. Man, that's a ripoff of Boogeyman. That's wrestling in a nutshell.
But to me, though, I think the Demon character is better than the Boogeyman. But, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well,
yeah, that is pretty close.
It is fairly... I mean, if the Demon came out there and started eating worms, then... Although, now that I think about that, in that... it wasn't the Demon. That was the Randy Orton Bray Wyatt match that they did the weird mealworms light show thing on the ring. Remember that?
Yeah.
I thought that was the Demon for a second, but I corrected myself.
Great one. Actually, the contract's coming up in September.
Yeah, he actually re-signed.
Oh, he finally re-signed. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
they just haven't formally announced it, but I seen that on a couple different websites yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
He is officially re-signed.
Yeah, that's good. The thing I'm wondering about is Daniel Bryan in September. I wonder what's going on with that. Is he going to...
Oh, he ain't going nowhere.
You think he's comfortable with the whole Total Bellas and having everything done for him?
I think the only reason he's going to re-sign is because they let him wrestle again. I think he was out the door.
I think he was out the door if he didn't get cleared.
Yeah, but now that they're letting him wrestle again and he's not having any issues thus far, yeah, I think he's going to re-sign. I think that's 100% guaranteed. I wouldn't even put that at... I wouldn't even put that at 99%.
Even though
it's 100%.
Even though I was like... I tapped out at this point where I didn't get to see Daniel Bryan in the Rise in Ring of Honor, but seeing him at Ring of Honor wouldn't be so bad either. Get Him Jones says, yeah, he's great at getting younger talent over, even though I didn't like his program with Shinsuke. Bryan was only going to leave if he didn't wrestle. Yeah, he was going to leave. Yeah, Shinsuke. Well, we'll get into that real quick in a little bit, too. Wow. We'll get into that when we cover SmackDown. But, all right, so overall, what did you think of that Raw coming off after the week before it being hot? It was a good show. And then this week you had the great main event. You had a couple of good, segments, telling the story, keeping the story going along for Extreme Rules. So 1 out of 5. 1 to 5. What would you rate it this week?
I'm going back and forth between 3.5 and 4. I think I'm going to lean towards 3.5 because
I'm with you on
that. There was one too many little spots for me to go to 4.
Yeah. The Mojo Rawley being one of them. I was not a big fan of that segment.
Oh man, we forgot to talk about that.
Oh yeah, that's what I said in between the tag match and the women's match. There wasn't much to cover between there. You had to cut it out.
Mojo stuff wasn't great.
Yeah.
The ending of the Strowman thing wasn't great. And then, so I'd say 3.5.
I'm with you on that. I gave it a 3.5 as well. All right, so we're gonna move along. We had a decent Raw, and boom! Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna cover this SmackDown side. And there's your little. Hold on, there's the video. That takes 20 seconds. And hold on. And
So
there we go.
just-
We can review. No, we're here. We're back. All right.
Well,
So-
see, it's on delay on my screen, so
Yeah, you know what? I should share screens with you. I keep forgetting to do that. Going along
that's
from
okay.
with your segment with Kurt Angle, and then of course, there's no better way to start off SmackDown than the Miz TV show. And
No, he could kick off every
Oh,
WWE show.
man,
as
is he
far
so
as I'm
great.
concerned.
I talked to someone at work this week about him, and he asked me honestly, "What do you think about the Miz?" And I said, "The most underrated guy in the company. If there's a guy that could be a heel and be the face of the company, it could be that guy. I think
Yeah.
he's the only one that can pull it off. I mean, Andre the Giant, if he was heel back in the 80s, probably could have pulled it off, but no one since then that wasn't over that could have been the face of the company and pulled it off. This could be that guy. And it's shocking. That's just how good he is on the mic, how good he is as a character. And for anyone that could trash that guy, I mean, you don't know shit about professional wrestling because he is the perfect professional wrestler. He can control the tempo of the match, and he has a great character to back it all up. Great on the mic, too. So,
And he has a fairly decent looking wife too. you know.
oh, yeah, fairly, talk about understatement.
Dear Lord. Hey,
Awesome.
speaking of shameless plug, I think it already started. I think it started 2 days ago, so I'm gonna have to check my on demand for this.
Yeah, sure.
But the Miz and Maurice show on USA.
July.
Are you gonna watch it?
Oh, yeah. Me and the wife are going to watch it.
definitely watching it. I am not ashamed as an almost 40-year-old man to say I am looking so forward to that show.
Okay, well, you're also almost a 40-year-old, and I'm almost a 35-year-old. We're doing a show on professional wrestling. So, and we got a call. And
Oh.
we did, and the tapped out. Never mind.
So
We did have a call in the line. That's okay. Yeah, if they want to pop back in, they can. All right,
no, the Miz is phenomenal.
All right, so they had the segment of the Bludgeon Brothers, and of course Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan confronting the Bludgeon Brothers for their, pretty much attack on Daniel Bryan in the Gauntlet match, costing him his shot to get the #1 contendership at Extreme Rules. Now, I mean, it was a pretty good segment, but I mean, setting up Harper and Bryan. I mean, I've done my research. They have faced each other outside of the WWE. Were you shocked going in like, holy crap, is it a good pairing? Did you like how that?
Well, I definitely rather see him face Harper than Rowan. Obviously, Harper's definitely the better of the two Bludgeon Brothers. That's, I think, without a shadow of a doubt. But yeah, I was happy with that. The only part of the setup I didn't like was, they attacked him because his entrance music was playing. He came down for the Gauntlet match, and then they waited till he eliminated two guys before they attacked him.
Yeah.
That part of it was a little weird.
Mhm.
Other than that, though, great segment. Yeah.
Okay, and then of course we went into it like a great segment of Miz TV, right into a good singles match between Rusev and Xavier Woods. I thought it was a pretty entertaining match between the two. Another good stepping stone for Rusev as he goes into his not #1 contender, his title shot against AJ Styles at Extreme Rules. Now, do you feel this title opportunity brought life to Rusev's WWE career? I mean, do you think it brought it back to life? Because it seemed for a while he was in mid-card hell. And all of a sudden...
No, I think it did, but the only thing I think is missing is typically when a guy gets named the #1 contender,
Yeah.
where's the interactions between him and AJ?
Well,
where's it at?
We got a call. Hold on a second. Hi, you on there? What's up? And nothing. Am I not hearing?
Nope, me neither.
Yeah, I'm
Awkward.
caller. Yeah, I know.
For English, press 1. Oh, hey.
Hey, what's up?
What?
It's someone trolling. It's okay. Yeah, it was bound to happen. There you
That
go.
was a very, very poor troll effort, though.
Yeah, it
I
was.
mean,
It
you
was.
all need to step your game up more than just a weird laugh in the background. Like, really? That's all you had?
Yeah. Nah.
I'm. Even trolls suck these days.
Nah. Don't let it.
Like,
We let it bother us earlier. Let's go on with the show. Fuck them.
oh, it's not bothering me. I just expect more if you're gonna troll. I
Yeah.
mean, put a little effort.
All right. So what did we say about Rusev Square before that? I'm sorry.
No, Rusev. I don't. The part of it I don't like is there hasn't been any interaction with AJ really thus far. So I think it's great that he's finally getting put in the picture, and I think the matches against who he's facing is nice. But where's the promos? Like,
I think.
some.
Oh no. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
No, that was it. That I just don't understand where's the, promos between the two, or why has there not been like even a Miz TV or some other kind of interview with the two of them in the ring, like something. Like I'm waiting to see something.
Well, how many weeks do we have until Extreme Rules? What, 3 weeks?
Three more SmackDowns, I think.
All right,
So I know it's coming.
It's
but
probably
that's
going to
the only
come.
part-
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely going to come. And we got a call. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up? I have one question.
Sure.
You
Yeah. Nice try. That one was New York. Dummies. Alright. Anyways, we'll keep it going. And there you go.
Conference locked.
Just for now. So we get our point across to talk about the show. Of course, we'll respond to chat for time being. We'll open up the lines in a little bit. We don't need the lines to keep the show going, my friend. We just give you an
Yeah.
opportunity to call in as well. So, nice try, dumbasses. All right, so moving along, though, the one thing I wanted to say, like with the Xavier Woods, do you notice, like, in the 3 weeks, you had 1, 2, 3, like, you had Kofi going at Money in the Bank. You had Big E in that gauntlet match. Now, number 3, you got Rusev going against Xavier. I mean, do you see a possible split up?
I see it eventually, but they're still not really working towards it besides them just losing matches. I mean, they're losing a lot of matches, but other than that, I'm not seeing any of the tension yet that is normally expected with the upcoming split.
I think they're
So I'm not-
testing it, though.
I'm not sure what they're doing. And like you said, you think they're testing. I am still not sure what they're doing with them.
Mhm.
If I have to sit through one more boring ass fucking pancake segment, though, I'm gonna just die of boredom. But other than that, I mean, I really have no interest in anybody from the New Day right now. Wake me up when something noteworthy happens.
Yeah, well, the thing with that, the reason I
I'd rather
say...
sit through a half-hour Roman Reigns. I'd rather sit through a half-hour Roman Reigns promo than a fucking New Day segment at this point.
Yeah.
It's that boring.
Okay, well, yeah, like I said, I don't think Vince will split them if their merch sales are high. Yeah, but you've seen it happen before. It has happened before when they had splits like this. Believe it or not, the Shield had great merch sales, and look what happened there, man. Big E does need a singles push, but yeah, that was my question. Who do you
Oh,
think?
definitely.
Who do you think would be the 3 that would get the big push? Because it is weird how, in 3 straight weeks, these guys had 3 big matches. It's not like they were singles matches, just doorway matches. Xavier
I'd rather
Woods against
see
Rusev.
Big E turn heel, get the push.
Yeah, Big E.
I
Yeah.
could see it.
There you go. Because Big E got, he was in the gauntlet match. You had Kofi that was in the Money in the Bank. These were big matches. They weren't just small matches, so not throwaway matches.
Yeah.
They were big matches, and I see they're trying to test. And I think the one that shined the most was obviously Big E, because he had a great portion of that gauntlet match with Daniel Bryan. So out of the three, I could see him being. Now, what would you see him being, though? Like, if he was the break-off, if Big E was the break-off, just real quick, and then we'll go on with the show, what would you see him doing if he was the break-off from the New Day? Would you see him face heel and...
Heel, turn on them, beat the living shit out of them, they go off TV for a while, and he goes up against Jeff Hardy.
Okay.
For the U.S. title.
You know what I would like to see?
I would almost book that right away.
And you know what I would like to see, though? What was he before? Wasn't he a bodyguard in the past? Wasn't that how he was kind of...
he was with CM Punk and AJ Lee at one point.
But wasn't he a bodyguard?
More of a bodyguard, heelish type, yeah.
Okay. Who's missing on a Miztourage?
Yeah, but then you need somebody else, too, though. Unless Big E would be the only one.
He could be the Diesel to the Shawn Michaels.
Could be. I could see that.
I think if anyone, that would be a nice
rub.
rub.
Big E out there in the suit.
Yeah.
Throw him out there in the suit. Yeah, I could see it. It's like a bouncer type character.
Yeah. Exactly like that.
Yeah, I could see it.
I was thinking that the other day too, because what show I was listening to, they're like, because they were talking about Big E.
Wake up, honey.
And I was like, well, everyone was asking, what's one thing? No one mentioned that. Everyone that was calling into that show, no one mentioned go with the Miz. And I'm thinking, if there's anyone that could do it, it could be him. He could team up with him, be his bodyguard, and there you go. And you could see where he could go from there. And eventually, you could turn him back to your face as he turns on the Miz, and then makes that big push. And that could be the chase to the title against the Miz or whatever that comes out of. But dude, yeah, I noticed that in the last 3 weeks that they all got big matches, and I think they're trying to test to see who would be the guy that would succeed out of that breakup. So this is where Electrify went. No, Electrify. He said he had errands to do. By the way, people that were in here last week, he is the third mic. He's not here this week, but he'll be back next week. So all right, so we're gonna move along. So after that, Jeff Hardy was supposed to be facing Shinsuke Nakamura. When they first announced that on Twitter, I was excited. Like, wow, this is going to be a great fucking match. No better way to follow up that great main event on Raw than to have a good match between Shinsuke and Hardy for the U.S. title. Then, what happened that day? The police they do a security check, and they go around the arena with a dog, and of course the dog sniffed Nakamura and bit him, resulting in him being yes, we do like wrestling, Ninja, resulting in him getting injured and not able to wrestle. Man, was that disappointing when they announced that, right? Because they said he was injured and he wasn't clear to wrestle, which I thought it was the house show the night before, but no, he was injured that day, and it came out the next day that he was bit by a dog.
Yeah.
We were robbed of a good match. Shinsuke told the security dog to come on.
Honey, I can't worry about you and do this at the same time. Thank you. Sorry, just distracted.
That's okay. I even tweeted out, go wrestling underscore go on Twitter, because I tweeted out a photo today. It was the SummerSlam promo background with Shinsuke and the police dog, and said they should book this shit for the main event at SummerSlam. You cost me my U.S. title shot. But yeah, I felt like we were robbed of that. But you know what? They had an open challenge, and who stepped in to take that challenge? Eric Young. Now, it was a kind of a sloppy start, but it turned out to be a solid match towards the end. But I
felt bad for Eric Young, man. The dude's getting the shaft. I'm sorry.
I honestly thought, in a way, that he could have snuck away, because you already seen one guy walk away with a title on an open challenge a week ago with Dolph Ziggler. I thought there might have been a chance that it could have happened again. But no, it didn't happen. Obviously, wishful thinking that could have happened. That would have been awesome to see. But yeah, Eric Young, I think it was a good match for him. I think it was just the opportunity, a win for him. Do you think, Eric Young? Second week on the main roster, he got a U.S. title shot.
I was a little thrown off by that.
But yeah.
It was a good showing towards the end of the match, but then they did the whole thing that they did, and they really devalued the whole thing.
Yeah. Well, I think it was a good match between the two guys, and then I see that it was beneficial for him because the second weekend you're getting a shot like that, and he stepped up in a situation where, I mean, people were expecting Jeff Hardy and Shinsuke going at it for the title. Instead, you had an open challenge. Eric Young stepped in, and again, despite the sloppy start, and it was mainly, believe it or not, on Hardy's side, though. He botched the, what was it? That was Brendan Wayne, I'm sorry. What's that move he does? Oh, when he does that little, I forgot. It's usually the setup for the Swanton Bomb.
Twist of Fate?
Twist of Fate, I'm sorry. I was blanking on that. Yeah, he kind of botched that. That was more on this end because Eric Young went with it, just he still slept on it. But other than that, it was a good match. I thought it was beneficial for him. But what happened afterwards, because of the disruption of the Usos interfering in the match, it's set up for the three-man match. Now, oh, God. Got another one in there. I see it. What did you think of the Hardy and Usos versus Saturday match? I mean,
I wasn't that into it, to be honest.
Really? Wow.
I see that you kind of liked it in your little rundown sheet.
I liked it.
The singles match was enough for me. I didn't need that.
Yeah, all right, I can see what you're saying. Yeah,
I could have seen it as a setup for a six-man on this upcoming week's show, but to have them back-to-back like that, I didn't care for it. It was too much for me.
To be fair, that there was probably something that was going on that was interrupted because they probably last second threw him in that match. So you got to think of that too, is that they probably still lumped that in because they already had that plan that they were going to do something. But then the fact that Eric Young took the challenge, they probably lumped them in together, which, like you said, it might have been too long for you. But that was probably something already planned along with that singles match with Eric Young. So, I mean, I can see your point with that, but I found it an entertaining match. I like the Usos. I think they're great workers, good tag team. And hopefully, you could see them back on top soon. I'm not going to judge too quickly on Sanity yet, but you just threw it into cover for Shinsuke. I still hope for them, but I still think they would have been better fit on Raw.
I think SmackDown fit's good.
It was the Teddy Long school of booking.
More or less.
I don't know. Because you know what? The old school style embraces the whole factions, okay? And let's face it. Raw is more the entertainment side, okay? And that's based on now, I hate to say it, now touch guy, Vince McMahon. I mean, he's done great, so many things that were great, but I think it's time for him to let it go. Focus on the football. Do that before you pass. I know what you want to do. You want to redeem yourself for your failure back in 2001. But some that you see there in NXT, what's the common factor between SmackDown and NXT? Factions. You got the Undisputed Era. You got Sanity. Okay? You got New Day. You got these three-man factions that was embraced during the Attitude Era. And these two guys, not the Attitude Era, but before that with the NWA. And two guys that are running SmackDown and booking NXT are both guys from the Attitude Era that have NWA influence. So, no, it was a perfect fit for Sanity go to SmackDown overall, in my opinion, of course. I mean, what do you see with them going to Raw, Adam Jones? I'll let you answer that, and then I'll ask you this. Well, we pretty much answered the question. Do you feel like did the match hurt Sanity's rise a bit with the loss, or do you feel like I mean, it didn't really hurt him because you lost to.
I don't think it really did nothing.
Yeah, you don't
for
think it did
Sanity.
anything? Because you losing to the Usos and then the U.S. champ. So it's not like you were losing to like well, name like what's the one that's Kurt Hawkins or anyone like that. I mean, they lost there. Good factions are good for business because they allow so much movement and booking. Exactly, and that's a good thing too. Oh, nice little kitty, happy little kitty.
He just farted on me too.
That's awesome. Do you think Saturday?
You dang.
Here's the thing. Do you think these factions like Sanity and all? Do you think they're going to bring life to the tag team division? Because again, the two
In
brands
the
that
long run, yeah.
yeah,
Short
because
term, I don't think it's doing much, just because it don't seem like there's no legit direction for him right now.
all right. Well, yeah, the thing I like about it is because again, it's two brands that are embracing the tag team division, and Raw, it's pretty much dead. But hopefully, I mean, with Triple H taking over soon enough, and he'll bring back the tag teams into both. Tag teams always good. You can always tell a good story between two tag teams that you couldn't
Definitely.
with singles. I mean, there's some tag team angles that are better than a singles angle in a pay-per-view or even any type of show. All right, so we're going to move along. Right after that, there was a couple of things that weren't even worth noticing. Ellsworth, fuck him. What a waste. The intergender title, yeah, I saw that with Andy Kaufman back in the 80s. That's okay. Get him Jones responded to my question about who would you if with Sanity going to Raw, how would it be good for him? He says, the only reason I say that is because they might get lost in the shuffle with all the good teams on SmackDown. Some of these teams have to get buried. SmackDown by far have better booking. Exactly. When you got
But on Raw, you couldn't even get Authors of Pain on TV till a couple weeks ago, though.
Exactly. Until someone brought it up.
So let's not say that Sanity could all of a sudden got airtime on Raw either, though.
And here's the thing, again, because they got better booking, they can find a way to get everyone involved one way
It
or
might
another.
be an added, now, throwing back to the New Day scene, it might be a little added motivation to do that split with New Day, because then Sanity could basically
Be the new three-man
take
crew.
their place.
Yep. But you know what? There's a way that Kofi and maybe Xavier could still pull
Yeah, I
like
can see
the
them still be a tag team.
pull that like Road Dogg and X-Pac thing, trying to ride along that DX thing after it disbanded with Billy Gunn going on his own, and then Triple H becoming the heel and becoming the top guy. But you had,
Speaking of teams lost in the shuffle, you got the Bar still on
Yeah.
SmackDown.
well, I heard they were taking time. Sheamus actually is taking personal time. That's why.
No, they basically said they didn't have nothing for them.
Well,
at the
at
moment.
first they were no. I'm saying at first they said he took time off for personal reasons. I actually see the Bar breaking up soon and going back to singles. That could happen. I mean, anything is possible, especially with SmackDown is by far, I feel, the better of the two brands. And then if you want to add NXT, well, then I'll say NXT is the top one. But as far as main roster, I like SmackDown more than Raw, and it's evident because look who's going to Fox next October. It isn't Raw. It's SmackDown. And the fact that they brought this up, if we could talk about this before we go into the main event, how do you feel that the team, the show that was considered a B show is now considered the flagship show? That's what they said in a statement, that's going to be the flagship show for the WWE, and it's going to be on Fox in the fall,
I
8 to
don't
10.
buy into it.
Well, we'll see how it goes, because we could probably do an episode of that on our little Facebook Live shows and all. Sheamus has a neck injury that has been working through as well. Oh, yeah. Well, you got to take it easy with that, because we have seen... Jinder Mahal's in chat.
Oh, jeez.
We like you, my friend. All right, so going into the main event of the evening... And that is Harper and Daniel Bryan. And I realized I put Daniel Harper. I don't know why I put that there in the rundown sheet.
Just lazy WWE writing.
Yes, it
right
was.
there.
But to me, this was nothing short of wow. Before the big twist at the end, it was a great match. My question to you, can you envision this being the main event for a WWE title in the near future?
No.
No. Why is that?
Just
You know-
because it was great for what it was because of what it was. I don't think if that's your main event,
Not even 5 years?
pay-per-view, it's gonna pop off as great as it did.
To me, I feel Harper has that tendency to be the main event guy. I
think
him.
he's a future main eventer, though. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I could see big themes ahead for both of the guys. But as far as a future big title match in
I
3,
could see
4,
it.
5 years, maybe.
I could see it. I could definitely see it.
Based off the one great match, I'm not jumping that far quite yet. But
Okay. All right. Now, of course, something happened at the end of the show, and that was
yeah,
something that the Shep, yes, you were right. He predicted last week of the show. You could check out the archives on YouTube. Team Hell No is back. Man, who saw that coming? I really didn't see that coming. Obviously, my man here, D-Shep, did see it coming. Do you like that? I know the answer to this, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you like that they brought back Team Hell No so they could get Brian out of the main event picture for a while so he'd get back to where he was 3 years ago? Do you think it was a good thing?
I don't think they did it specifically with getting the thought of getting him out of the main event picture.
I think so.
I just think there really isn't nothing else for him now. You don't want to throw him in there with AJ quite yet because you're not sure if he can, still be as durable or whatnot. So a tag match is the safe bet, but I don't know if they're deliberately going out of their way to keep him out of the main event scene, because this, by all accounts, was the main event for SmackDown in the last month. This is the main event of SmackDown for all the SmackDowns in June that you're going to remember the most.
All right. Well,
So he's still, it's a way to book him as a top dog without being in a singles title feud.
okay, now this is where I come in. I disagree, and I'll tell you why. Okay? People have been bitching since day one, since he came back. They bitched about his match at WrestleMania. Why is he not in the main event? Then the match at Backlash. Why wasn't he at main event? Then the recent Money in the Bank. Why wasn't he in main event? Why is he not going for the title? Why is he not in the program with AJ?
I don't see that many people bitching about that.
I've
though, to
seen
be
it.
honest.
I've seen it on Twitter. It's evident. I mean, people were, because I go into the little chat things, and then Squared Circle on Reddit. That's a great Reddit if you want to talk wrestling off the air. I'm telling you, it's pretty cool. They all mentioned that same thing, and I said it this way: it's like, do you want him to go in the main event picture, not being the same guy, because he's not there yet. I mean, he's only been back for what, 4 months? Not even 3, actually, at the most. Okay, he's going on 3 months. Do you really think he's ready to be a main event guy at this point?
Oh, no.
Exactly. So what do you do to
Well,
distract the
look
people
at-
to keep
look
them from bitching about him not being the
Look
main
at it
event?
in comparison to Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels took, 2 to 3 years off before from 98 to SummerSlam 2002.
Yeah.
So about 3 years off, and God, I'd have to do fact checking on this, but I think it was 6 months to he came back at SummerSlam.
Are you talking about the
first
world
time
title?
The first time he got a title shot, I believe, was at Elimination Chamber, which at the time
Survivor Series 02.
was he got one at Survivor Series?
Yeah, here, I'll give you the timeline. I know what to talk about. He came back, of course he did the NWO thing, wasn't wrestling
Yeah, I don't count
until
that.
until SummerSlam 2002. He faced Triple H in a street fight. It was supposed to be a one-off. It went well. He did some house shows in between September and October, and he said, what the hell, I'll come back full time. Offered the opportunity, got the qualifying match to be in the Elimination Chamber in November for Survivor Series 02. He came out on top, and they said it was for him as a redeeming factor for the way he left. He talks about it in his book. He talks about how... Go ahead.
About 4 months then. And then they threw him in
About
the
3 months.
Okay.
But again, Daniel Bryan, Shawn Michaels.
But his back wasn't as fucked up as Bryan's neck was.
Yeah, and also Shawn Michaels, dude, he showed that he didn't even take a day off. That, like, again, Bryan's having great matches, but Shawn Michaels in that street fight against Triple H back in 2002, dude, it was like he never took a day off. That's why, like, when he was doing house shows in between, it was like, and here's the thing, the schedule back then is way different from now. They wrestle a lot more back then than they do now. People want to say like the schedule's brutal. They actually get a lot more off time now than they did 10 years ago and 15 years ago. So he had more time to get ready as opposed to Bryan. So he got back in the picture. I get what you're saying, but here's the thing. Shawn Michaels was, boom, he was back in, and it was like he never missed a day. There's a slow build to Daniel Bryan get back to where he was. So what do? You put him in the tag team. It gets people away because Team Hell No was over 5-6 years ago. It was so over.
It was over.
Yeah,
on SmackDown too. My God,
it was over like rubber.
Hug it out.
Exactly. So no better way than to team them up together. Kane doesn't have to worry about his mayor thing until October at the latest, and then they're going to be. He'll probably do things in between, campaigning and all. But, I mean, this is a good thing for the summer. Give him more time. And then by the time Survivor Series comes around, then you can see the push going singles-wise, where he goes for the title again. I think this just is a place. I think it's a great thing to bring him back, but I think it's just to hold it back, to keep him away from the main event picture. And then when the time is right, give it a few months, see where he's at, and then you can see that he gets the push. But also, you say that he's going to re-sign. There's no doubt. There's that possibility that he might not. So why put your eggs into the basket?
Well, that too. Yeah.
Okay. There's that possibility.
I guess it's a good way to give him something to do, keep him happy, let him wrestle, and then once he re-signs, then you can throw him in the title mix.
So that's what I saw with it. So even though it's a good thing,
I can see that.
Yeah, I would rather see the club with the titles than Team Hell No. I just get tired of not rewarding your hard workers. I understand that. I'm with you on that, Get 'em Jones. But that's not always the case. You always got to go with what's good business-wise.
But
and WWE is more of a... I'm shocked because it's more of a face
company. Let's be real with that comparison, though. Yes, the club's been more of your more current hard workers. But let's not act like Kane is Brock Lesnar either. Kane has worked his ass off for 20 plus years.
Yeah.
This isn't Brock Lesnar that shows up once or twice every 3 months. This is a legit dude. Daniel Bryan literally is an animal that if he was fully healthy, he would have been out there these past few years. So to say that you would rather reward the hard workers, I mean, these guys are hard workers. This isn't just a random team that...
Like Brock. It's not like Brock Lesnar.
These aren't two new guys that haven't been around for that long getting a title shot. So I like it. I'm very happy with it.
No, I think it's a good thing because it's a good thing for Bryan. It's a good thing for the company. See where he's going to be doing. See if he's going to resign, and then when he resigns, allow him time to build and build. The only negative thing is that his stamina, but I'm sure he could work it out in singles matches on the house shows, and then on the TV.
Exactly.
So to keep him with the stamina, because that could be the only thing that could hurt him with this tag team, with the Team Hell No. But only time will tell. We'll see where he goes if he resigns and all. Okay, so after that, of course, the return of Kane. How would you rate this SmackDown? I mean, great show last week. I think it was just as good, if not better. What do you think? So you rated it a 3 last week.
Oh, it's definitely better. I'd probably say a 4, to be honest. I'd say slightly better than Raw.
All right.
Not much, but slightly better.
I give it a 4. Great matches all around. Eric Young stepping up, having a great match with Jeff Hardy despite the slow start. It ended with a very good match. Of course, a great match with Harper and Bryan. It was a great match, and of course the team Hell No. It's so good. The Team Hell No comeback is also great. To me, it was a great show. 4 overall. Probably would have got the 5 if we saw that Shinsuke match, man. that everyone has been wanting to say, and
it
I'm
was
sure we're
one
going
of
to see
the
it.
few low spots.
Yeah.
That and Ellsworth were the two main low spots. So
Yeah, well,
I say slightly better than Raw.
last.
Definitely.
And I think it was better than last week, despite the great matches last week on SmackDown. Brian will be main event by Mania. That's what I've been saying all along. I see him and The Miz. I see a lot of people could say it doesn't need a title between Miz and Brian, but I think that will be it because it's like Brian hasn't had the title since 2014 when he won against in the triple threat match with Batista and Randy Orton. I think it's time that he gets that shot and just give it time. WrestleMania, it's pretty much a given. It's going to be Miz and Brian. I see it that way.
Definitely.
Do you like Paige interrupting a moment, or do you think it would have been better to announce the title shot at the beginning of next week's show?
Better next week.
Yeah, it would have been better for next week's show. They could have did something with it.
Very weird.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I knew he was coming. I knew he was here. Yeah, it kind of killed the moment because it's like it was supposed to be spontaneous, but all of a sudden, boom, she must have known.
That's a good point, though. It did kind of kill that.
It killed it because, it was supposed to be spontaneous, and here she is popping out. We're going to give him a title shot. Kane, welcome back. You've been back for 30 seconds. You're going to get a title shot right away. Boom, boom, boom. But I deserved Team Hell No. Okay. Late to the party. What's up, McGriff? Make sure you give this man a follow. Click that name. Okay. He does it awesome. WWE Universe. We don't shy away. We are a family. We promote anyone because together we're a big, huge wrestling loving family. Okay. Now, we're going to end the love for a few moments because usually this is a part of the show where D-Shep will rant. This week, I'm going to take the ball and roll with it. I'm going to run with it, okay? And I'm going to clip this. And it's going to get a little deep. You're going to see a little anger from me. Ladies and gentlemen, the Universal title. It's the most... You got your two world titles. You got your WWE Championship, and you got your World Championship. Supposedly, each of them are equal. Now you got a guy with AJ Styles holding the WWE Championship, thing that's had history. And you want to build that legacy on the other championship. But what you did is that you put it on two good wrestlers in Kevin Owens, as well as Finn Balor as the Demon. And then what have you done since then? You had Kevin Owens drop a title to a guy that can't go longer than 5 minutes in the match. And then you give it to a guy that comes and goes as he pleases. Again, I understand he's the main event attraction. He's the attraction. I got it. But if because he's the UFC guy. I understand. He was the UFC guy. He got his shot. He's getting everything because of what he did in UFC. Well, guess what? If it weren't for the WWE, he wouldn't have got that shot at the UFC, okay? You think they would have looked at him as quick? No. Now, you take away the credibility of that title by putting it on a guy that comes and goes as he pleases. When was the last time... D-Shep, can I ask you a question? When was the last time we saw him with the title? Greatest Royal Rumble. That was the last time you saw that. Now, this is one thing that annoyed me. Because now, there might be a possibility that it might not be a match at SummerSlam for the Universal title. And I'm going to read a post from a guy that I've lost respect for when it comes to the world of professional wrestling. He is great on the mic. He's done great with a promotion called ECW. But
what they told him to say might be scripted before. I know who you're going to say it is, but this all could be scripted. Keep that in mind.
Scripted or not, I understand. Okay? Scripted or not, I understand. But if you have any, if you want to voice anything, if you have any respect for the business that made you in a way, because he did. He was made. He got his way in, but he was also made by this business, okay? So here we go. So there was a few things that got me, okay? He was going on. Here we go. Exactly what is the criterion being used as the hiring process at WWE.com? I truly believe that all who fail to find employment through human resources end up in the WWE's version of modified English house in the digital marketing division. Their latest clickbait is to put up a poll asking you, the WWE Universe, to voice your individual and collective opinion as to whom should be Brock Lesnar's next challenger. It amazes me that no one has smartened up their recklessness, ignorant wannabes, and explained to them that Brock Lesnar does not what Brock Lesnar wants to do. Who's going to challenge Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship? Whoever is big enough box office to lure Brock Lesnar into a match that makes Brock Lesnar the type of money he commands for a fight. I get what he's doing with the angle, but you're burying you're hurting the company by pretty much saying all these wrestlers ain't shit. You don't take that as a slight towards the company, saying that, oh, these are bums and maybe you get better wrestlers, to come and challenge for the title. I get what you're saying, though. He's the big man, blah, blah, blah.
They're trying to give Roman cheered.
They're trying to. I get they're trying to. But I think they're hurting it, saying that none of the wrestlers are good enough. And people can take it that way.
In actuality, they're not. I mean, if we're talking like legit contender in a fight situation, if we believe that pro wrestling is real, there is no legitimate threat. Let's be real.
Yeah. All right, so he goes on with second generation, who was second to beat Undertaker at WrestleMania, talking about Roman Reigns, who failed his second WrestleMania attempt to take the top title from Brock Lesnar, and similarly failed in his second attempt this year alone in Saudi Arabia. No, Brock Lesnar has no interest in sloppy second Samoan. Bobby Lashley, the man who could be Lesnar, the supposed college standout who won the NAIA championship because he knew the competition for the Division I was too fierce. By the way, remember, when Bobby won the NAIA title that no one really cared about, Brock Lesnar was making national headlines winning the D1 Heavyweight Championship. Okay, but still can't take away what the guy's done.
No.
I mean, all right, Bobby Lashley's accomplished too. He's 15-2 in MMA. Whether if it was Bellator, Strikeforce, or the UFC, he's 15-2. That's still a good record. Now,
and let's be honest, Brock Lesnar in MAA wasn't exactly out there beating big names. He was beating has-beens and never wases. Let's be real. So to say that he's fought more legitimate competition in the MAA world is a little far-fetched for me.
Now, Great One says he's playing this character. Heyman is the ultimate piece. Okay, this is my problem with it, okay? He says that he's a wrestling guy. He loves this and loves that. How can you sit there and realize that you're allowing a guy to pretty much come and go as he please, killing the credibility of the title? And he wants to, in his thing, he talks about loyalty, that he's loyal to Brock Lesnar. He's loyal to this. And I'll tell you two things you weren't loyal to in your time, buddy. You're not loyal to professional wrestling. You took a title and allowed it, because I'm telling you, you don't think him and Lesnar talk? You don't think him and Lesnar talk whatsoever? All right. I know this seems a little long-winded. My point is, two things that he was never, ever loyal to as of late. As of late, professional wrestling. And I'll tell you, if you want to go with loyalty, talk about you won't walk with Elias, you won't go with this guy, you won't go with that guy, I'll stay loyal to Brock Lesnar. I don't think you were too loyal back in 2001, ducking out your company to go to WWE, leaving Tommy Dreamer to close the shop. Talk about loyalty.
Yeah, I can see that.
You weren't loyal to professional wrestling for the last year and a half. Being a part of what is destroying Raw right now. Okay? Your world championship is the IC title. Universal, you might as well throw it out. Bring back the big gold title. Bring something else. Because as far as that title ain't worth shit now. Because you gave it to a guy that's defended
that
it
much we can agree on.
11 times. I know it's a little long-winded. And everyone can say, well, he's just a mouthpiece. But you don't think, like, in the back of his mind, he thinks it's right? Do you think he actually thinks it's right, what he's doing? I mean, I understand that's what he's paid to do. But, I mean, if you're a true wrestling guy, you would never allow that because it's things like this that could damage a company. Things like this that's damaged wrestling. That's me. That's how I take it. When they book,
I can see that.
in the main event, how good would it be for the majority of the crowd to walk out? Maybe Vince will finally get the message. As a fan of heels, this isn't a good heel work. This isn't. It's just a money grab. Exactly. Brock Lesnar is all about the fucking money. He is ruining the credibility of that title because it's nothing but a fucking prop. And and Heyman is he's not off the hook with it either. I'm sure he could say something like, "Yo, Vince, this may not be a good thing. You're hurting the title." I'm sure. Is there anyone in that locker room that's saying, "Dude, this is not good"? At this point, I know I understand. It's long-winded.
No. You're right to a certain extent, but I don't. Again, it's kind of hard when that is what they're telling him to do. But yeah, in the back of his mind, could I see him finding a way around that to say the things so it makes his wrestler and the other guys look a little better? I think he could do a little better job at that.
Yeah. Well, great one said running down contenders. Yeah, there's a way of running down and shitting. Running down the storyline and shitting. He is practically shitting. And it's evident when your guy doesn't show up for the main events or main shows. He didn't even show up. He hasn't shown up since the Greatest Royal Rumble. So what does that say? How are you supposed to perceive what he says? Would people take that more of a shoot or a storyline? We don't know. And we'll find out if there's a match at fucking SummerSlam. And here's the thing. They're afraid of stripping him because of how he would react and how it would hurt them. Fuck it. That would probably do less. It would be beneficial if they were to do that. And just
but at least when Flair was doing that, he was doing that on TV every week, though.
Exactly. Dana promised lots. Brock didn't perform. Had to go back to WWE like a spoiled child. Yeah, I know. And to him, it's money. It's a paycheck. When he was on Stone Cold's podcast, that's what he kept saying. Oh, it's money. It's money. It's money. Okay. So to end the rant, as far as Paul Heyman, if you want to know what loyalty is, look in the dictionary, because one thing you're not to the business of professional wrestling is loyal, okay? And Brock Lesnar, you're a good shoot fighter, but as an entertainer and wrestler, you're the most overrated of that. You're nothing to Daniel Bryan. You're nothing to The Rock. You're nothing to John Cena, Undertaker, you name it. You're the most overrated entertainer and wrestler. There, I said it. I'm done. Sorry. I just saw that.
Feel better?
Yeah, a little bit. I know it was a little long-winded. I apologize. All right, so
no, you're fine.
So let's end the show with. It's time for. Hold on. I got a stinner. The list.
Did you cut out on me?
No, you're good. No.
Okay.
I was remember the stinger.
Well, no, I
it was a long.
It seemed longer than 10 seconds.
No, it was 13 actually. I'm sorry. And ladies and gentlemen, this is I know. Well, it's a stinger. Okay, I'm trying to spruce up a presentation here. Okay, I'm trying, bro. This segment is the list, and this is our version of the Power Rankings Top 5 going on in the world of the WWE. And I actually got a question, D-Shep, while I was in someone else's stream this week. Are we going to do anything outside of the WWE in the near future and just involve everything from Ring of Honor?
We definitely can go that route. I will have to do a little bit more some homework on that, but
okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely open for that. I must admit, I don't see too much these days outside the WWE
that's fine.
bubble.
Oh, maybe I could do something on the side on it, like a Facebook Live show, and do the list of just outside of WWE. We could figure that out, but get him Jones in chat before we go on to it. It's funny that people shit on Jinder and Corbin, yet they have more wrestling moves than Brock Roman, Brock, and Cena. But if you want to tell a great story, Adam Jones, think about the guys like Hulk Hogan. Think of the guys like Andre the Giant. Think of many wrestlers that Triple H, The Rock.
Goldberg.
Well, Goldberg, fuck him. He's overrated too.
Well, no, he didn't have many moves either.
Yeah, but my point is, people like The Rock, Cena, and all, they told great stories and didn't need a huge move list to do it. But the angle with Rusev and Cena was a great story angle, and there was hardly many moves used to tell that story in the ring. That's professional wrestling. All right, so going on to the list, I'll allow you to go first this week. What do you got for your top 5?
I got Rusev coming in at 5.
Okay.
Another positive victory. I still would have liked to see. I could have moved Rusev higher if I seen a nice promo with AJ combined with the match against Xavier. So I could have seen him being higher, but for what it was, definitely there. 4, I got the B team. I still got to show my B team some love, just simply because, to me, by far the most entertaining thing on WWE TV right now. Top to bottom, great stuff.
All right.
And then one thing we didn't acknowledge in our rundown, maybe it wasn't on the rundown sheet that I have, but I got Bayley at number 3.
Ooh.
Finally,
okay,
something to the Bayley Sasha storyline.
Yeah.
Finally.
I did my research on that.
It's way overdue, but being that it finally happened, I got that at 3. If that happened 2-3 months ago, I would have had that much higher, definitely.
All right.
And then I got Ziggler at 2. Phenomenal match. He's really stepped up his game the last 2 weeks. Very, very proud of him. And then at number 1, Team Hell No, mainly because I called it. And yeah, I marked out I kind of marked out a little.
That's no problem.
I got excited when, hug it out, and then Daniel Bryan was playing hard to get a little bit. I think it was beautiful.
All right, nice. All right. Well, here's mine. Number 5 this week is Rusev.
Yes, the consulate thing is very bad, but I was just happy it finally happened. I had to respond to that.
Well, apparently the counselor that was used in the Team Hell No angle a few years back is coming back. That's what's been reported. So, I don't know. I don't know much about that part because, again, this was during the time that I tapped out. All right, number 5, I got Rusev. Big match. Well, not a big match. It was a good match with Xavier Woods. Of course, building on that storyline, getting that title shot. So I give him number 5. Number 4, barely. Again, I'm with you on that. The big attack. A lot of people feel that's a heel turn. It doesn't have to be a heel turn to show your aggressive side. Yeah, it's a show aggressive side, and could go either way. Therefore, there's some life to her career, so I go with her at number 4. And something for 3 and 2 is a rarity where I'm going to have both competitors of a great match in the top 5. But this week I will put them in there. Number 3 being Seth Rollins. Despite winning by DQ, still a great match with Dolph Ziggler. And number 2, definitely. Put my foot in the mouth this week, so I'm putting you at number 2. Dolph Ziggler is my number 2 guy this week after having a great match again with Seth Rollins. But the thing I got from that is that he could do it. I doubted him, and he proved me wrong. Great match.
I'm
looking forward to
this.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to this explanation at number 1.
Okay. Number 1, Natalya. You got a win over the women's champion. Non-title or title. She got a win over the champion. How can you not like that? That's a huge win. If you base your thing now to power rankings, you got to base performance. And if they won, who did they beat? I mean, she could have beat a nobody, and it would have meant nothing. She beat the women's champion. I don't see that being any bigger than what Rusev did. He faced Xavier Woods, good wrestler, but he's not a champion. Barely. I put her in because she brought herself back to life with that. I mean, that attack brought her back on the map. She's on the map again as far as Raw. Seth Rollins, Ziggler, I put that, again, if there was a clear winner, if it was Ziggler, he probably would have been number 1. For the fact that it ended a DQ, but it was the match of the week for me, Seth Rollins and Ziggler had to be at respective 2 and 3.
How about 2 women on your top 5?
Oh,
Shout
I'm
out to the ladies.
equal opportunity, my friend. But no, I think that nothing was bigger this week than Natalya beating the women's champion. So that's what I say. That's why I put it down to number 1. You can agree, you can disagree. People in chat can agree or disagree. That's how I feel, and that's your list. That's my list. And even though an honorary mention this week is my boys, the B team, I'm with you on that. But again, I a lot of people could trash me for my putting 2 guys in the same match in the top 5, but again, it was the match of the night, and it could be the match of the year, for how I see it. All right.
I just want to do another shout out to. I think this is the 4th straight list with neither of us putting AJ Styles in the top 5. It's becoming a thing in the back of my mind every week.
Yeah.
That as great as AJ Styles is, he is not the most interesting thing on Raw or SmackDown every week.
What has he done, though? Worthy enough to be...
exactly.
No, wait a minute. I think I put him in the Nakamura match. I think I put him in there in the first one.
Well, so then the last 3 list, then.
Yeah, probably the last 3.
Yeah. But still, I'm not seeing... as much as the focus is sometimes shitting on the Universal title, and I get that, I'm fully with you on that.
Yeah.
They're not doing the WWE title, at least the champ, too many favors. The stuff with Nakamura, as
was
great
incredible.
As it was, it just wasn't. It just didn't grab you in the soul, It didn't.
I think the last match was a great ending.
No, it was a great match. I told you, towards the end of the feud, I was getting more into it. But as far as what I see on Raw and SmackDown every week, there's so many other things that I look forward to more than I look forward to AJ Styles.
Okay, well, again,
maybe it's because I know he's so good, and it's like a stable girlfriend that ain't gonna leave you, and that's gonna be your rock, kind of like how Seth Rollins is eventually going to be in that same kind of mold as far as like this is the guy you can depend on in that Miz category, and that Rollins and Daniel Bryan when he's fully healthy again. He just that solid workhorse that you can depend on is fine and dandy, but it's not the main thing you go into SmackDown necessarily looking forward to every week. I need to see something that's going to get me more emotionally invested in.
Okay, I can. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Me, I'm with you on that, but it's also like you're excited because Raw, it's like, hey, you got some good things, but SmackDown, you guaranteed a good show, and they have a deep roster of great talent that can really put on a good match, and that's the thing. Like, I think if AJ was on Raw, it'd probably be better for him. But
look at it this way, like you were saying with Rollins. When a Rollins match comes on, you're in for a treat. That match is more than likely to be the best wrestling match of the night every Raw, right. Every week.
Yep.
That's not the same with AJ.
Really? Well, again, yeah, actually,
AJ, don't get me wrong, but there's other moments on SmackDown.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
like,
we're on the same page.
Seriously, are we talking about AJ Styles, or are we talking about the Harper and Daniel Bryan match? Whereas Raw, we talk about Rollins the week before. We talked about Rollins the week before. We talked about Rollins.
Oh, because he's over like Rover. There's no one more over than him.
Maybe it's SmackDown with too many guys that we respect a little bit more over there, and that's harder for AJ to stand out as much as Rollins does on Raw. But
it's because they got a deep roster. They have a deeper roster than Raw, and I see that because of the whole Fox deal, and I think it's going to get even deeper as it gets closer to next October.
Definitely.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, if he was just like the main guy and it wasn't a deep roster, yeah, you would be looking forward to him. But as far as Raw, it's like, yeah, you got your Braun Strowman, you got your Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, but not the right character. We talked about that earlier. But Seth Rollins, yeah, you're in for a treat because no matter who you pair him with, he's going to put on a hell of a show. And like I said, he's the most over guy they have on the roster on both brands. But I mean, we'll see in time, like who could take the WWE title. I discussed this real quick. What if they were to keep him the champion until the Royal Rumble, and had maybe the Miz beat him, and then do a short, like you build on the storyline between Bryan and the Miz, but it'd be a short chase to go to WrestleMania.
I definitely want to see Miz be the guy that takes it from AJ at this point. Since Shin didn't win it, and I wanted Shin to win it there in that last match.
Too. Yeah.
But if not Shin, it's not going to be Rusev. I mean, let's be
No,
honest.
it's a one-off.
It's not going to be him. It's way too early for Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
The only other person besides Miz that I see as a viable threat would be Samoa Joe. But that's it.
And
it's either Joe or Miz for me.
And that could be possible. And people are like, oh, they don't like heel and heel. But when you think about it, is Samoa Joe a heel to the eyes of the fans? I don't think they see him as that. I think he's more.
He's kind of like in that Braun Strowman role of when
I think he's more
first starting to make that turn.
Yeah, I think he's more over than he gets heat. I mean, I think he's a good. Oh no, I have a created character or created wrestler. His name is Tony Cummins. Great one in chat. I'm sorry, I just happened to see that chat. But no.
By the way, my phone's at 5%.
Okay, well, we're about to end it anyway because we just did the list and that was the end of the show.
My wife's about to tap out too.
Okay, and then let's close out the show. Make sure you follow us on Twitter when we're not live. We're going to be more active on there. Talk with you guys.
Definitely.
I'm at wrestling_go. He's DShep1979. Also, make sure you follow the Go Home Wrestling Show on Facebook as we're going to be doing our shows during the week on there. Facebook Live as opposed to doing it on Twitch. The reason is to try to get more exposure on that platform to bring them over to here. And other than that, we'll see you next week. We'll be doing shows.
Definitely.
And yeah, we'll be here next week, hopefully.
Looking forward to that first call-in by the Great.
Yes, indeed. And then hopefully Electrify will be back next week. He said he had a lot to do. He's got work early tomorrow. That's why he wasn't here. He is the permanent third guy with us. He's the third mic, and I'm in talks with there's another streamer that asked if he could come on. I'll discuss that with you off there real quick to get him on in the future, and he's a big WWE Universe guy, so there's a lot coming. Also, I'll throw a little hint here, wink, hint, possible ECW alumni coming on to the show. I'm in talks with someone. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is it. End of the line. We'll see you all next week on the Go Home Wrestling Show. Oh, shit. That's how you do it. That's how you end the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, later, everyone. Take it easy. Oh, shit.
She's supposedly reading on a tablet over there, but I'm not buying it. Bubba?